Slow English practice. Before we begin, I want you to relax your shoulders, take a slow breath, and remind yourself of one important thing. You're not here to perform, you're here to practice. This is not a test. This is a safe space. You don't need perfect pronunciation. You don't need fast English. You only need your voice. In this series, I will speak slowly, clearly, and calmly. And I want you to speak along with me, not in your head, out loud. Even if your voice feels shaky, even if your accent feels strong, even if you feel unsure, speaking out loud is how fluency begins. Many English learners understand English very well, but when it's time to speak, the voice disappears. This happens because the brain has practiced understanding, not producing. Today we begin changing that. Slowly, gently, without pressure. When you speak along with me, your brain creates new pathways. These pathways connect listening to speaking. This connection is what most learners are missing. Listening alone is not enough. Speaking alone is hard, but speaking along creates balance. So as you listen to me, I want you to repeat after me when you can. If you miss a sentence, don't panic. Just rejoin when you're ready. This practice is flexible. It meets you where you are. Let's start with something simple. I want you to say this sentence slowly, out loud, with me. I am practicing English calmly. Say it again. I am practicing English calmly. Notice how your mouth moves. Notice your breath. There is no rush. Slow English is powerful. When you slow down, your mind has time to choose words. Your mouth has time to shape sounds. Your nervous system stays calm. Calm systems learn faster than stressed ones. Many people believe fast English equals fluent English. That belief creates pressure. Pressure blocks learning. Fluency is not speed. Fluency is comfort. Comfort grows through slow, repeated speaking. When you speak along, don't worry about copying my accent exactly. Your goal is not imitation. Your goal is expression. Your English belongs to you. Accents are part of identity, not mistakes. Now say this sentence with me. I can speak English slowly and clearly. Again, I can speak English slowly and clearly. If it felt awkward, that's normal. Awkwardness is a sign of new skill forming. As we continue, you may notice thoughts like, I sound strange, or I'm not good at this. These thoughts are common. Don't argue with them. Just keep speaking. Speaking is action. Action quiets doubt. This practice is especially important for shy learners. When you speak alone but out loud, you remove social pressure while still training your voice. This is how confidence grows safely. Morning, afternoon, or evening, this practice works because it is about repetition, not timing. Even 5 minutes of speak-along practice each day creates real change over time. Let's try another sentence together. Say it slowly with me. I am learning to trust my voice. Again, I am learning to trust my voice. Trust grows through use. The more you speak, the more natural it feels. You don't need long sentences. Short, clear sentences build rhythm. Rhythm builds flow. Flow builds fluency. Everything starts small. If your pronunciation is not perfect, that's okay. Clarity matters more than accuracy. People understand calm speakers better than perfect speakers who are afraid. Now say this with me. I am not afraid to speak English. Say it again slowly. I am not afraid to speak English. Even if you don't fully believe it yet, say it anyway. Words spoken repeatedly shape belief. As we move forward in this series, the sentences will grow slightly longer, but the pace will remain slow. Slow enough for you to join. Slow enough for your mind to stay calm. This is not about memorizing sentences. It is about training your mouth, breath, and mind to work together. That coordination is what creates natural speaking. You might feel tired after speaking out loud. That's normal. Speaking uses muscles and mental energy that silent study does not. Fatigue is a sign of real practice. Before we finish this segment, say this final sentence with me. I will speak along every day. Again, I will speak along every day. Consistency is more important than intensity. In the next segment, we will build on this foundation and focus on daily speak along routines that make English feel natural instead of forced. You will learn how to turn this practice into a simple habit you can keep. For now, remember this. Your voice matters. Speaking slowly is not weakness, it is wisdom. And every time you speak along, you are moving closer to real fluency. When you are ready, we will continue together. In the first segment, you began speaking along slowly and calmly, without pressure. Now, in this segment, we focus on turning this speak along practice into a daily habit that actually changes how English feels in your mouth and mind. Because fluency does not come from motivation alone. It comes from repetition that feels safe. Many learners try to practice English only when they feel confident. That is why progress feels unstable. Speak along practice works best when it becomes routine, not a decision you debate every day. When you know you will speak along, even for a few minutes, your brain relaxes. Relaxed brains learn faster. The most important rule for speak along practice is this. You do not stop when it feels uncomfortable. You slow down and continue. Discomfort does not mean something is wrong. It means your speaking muscles are learning a new pattern. When you speak along with me, you are borrowing rhythm. Rhythm helps your mouth move smoothly. You're also borrowing structure. Structure removes the pressure of thinking what to say next. This allows you to focus fully on speaking. Now let's practice together again. Say this sentence slowly with me. I speak English a little every day. Say it again. I speak English a little every day. Notice how repetition makes the sentence easier the second time. That ease is fluency beginning. Speak along practice is especially powerful for people who understand English but cannot speak smoothly. Understanding happens in silence. Speaking needs sound. This practice connects the two. You might notice that your voice sounds different when you speak out loud compared to in your head. That is normal. Your voice becomes familiar only through use. Familiarity reduces fear. Some days your pronunciation will feel clear. Other days it may feel heavy or slow. Do not judge these changes. Speaking ability fluctuates naturally. What matters is that you continue. Now say this sentence with me. I allow myself to speak slowly. Again, I allow myself to speak slowly. Slowness gives your mind time to choose words without panic. One common mistake learners make is trying to repeat too fast. Speed breaks coordination. Coordination builds fluency. Always choose coordination over speed. If you miss a word while speaking along, do not rewind immediately. Continue from the next sentence. This trains recovery. Recovery is more important than accuracy. Speak along practice also trains listening deeply. When you listen with the intention to speak, your attention becomes sharper. This improves comprehension naturally. Let's say another sentence together. Say it slowly. I am learning through speaking. Again, I am learning through speaking. Notice how speaking reinforces understanding. This practice also reduces self-consciousness. When you speak alone, out loud, your voice becomes normal to you. When something feels normal, it stops triggering anxiety. You may feel tired after a few minutes. That is good. Fatigue means you are using real speaking muscles. Stop before frustration begins. Short sessions build consistency. Before we end this segment, say this sentence with me. I will practice speaking even when it feels awkward. Again, I will practice speaking even when it feels awkward. Awkwardness is temporary. Skills are permanent. In the next segment, we will focus on how speak-along practice improves pronunciation, rhythm, and natural sentence flow without studying complicated rules. You will begin to hear and feel the difference in your own voice. When you are ready, we will continue together. In the previous segment, you learned how daily speak-along practice builds consistency and reduces fear. Now, in this segment, we focus on how this slow speak-along method naturally improves pronunciation, rhythm, and sentence flow without studying rules or memorizing sounds. This is where many learners are surprised by how much progress happens quietly. Pronunciation improves best when the body learns, not when the mind analyzes. When you speak along slowly, your mouth begins to copy movement patterns automatically. You are not thinking about individual sounds. You are feeling how words connect. This feeling-based learning is much stronger than rule-based learning. When you listen and speak at the same time, your brain synchronizes sound and movement. This synchronization trains muscle memory. Muscle memory is what allows fluent speakers to speak without thinking about each word. Speak-along practice builds this memory gently without stress. Now let's practice together again. Say this sentence slowly with me. I am speaking clearly and calmly. Say it again. I am speaking clearly and calmly. Notice how your mouth feels after the second time. It feels more relaxed. Relaxation improves clarity. Many learners try to pronounce every word perfectly. That effort creates tension. tension blocks smooth sound. Speak-along practice shifts your focus from perfection to flow. Flow is what makes speech sound natural. Rhythm is another important part of fluent English. English has a natural rhythm like music. When you speak along, you absorb this rhythm automatically. You do not need to study stress patterns. Your ear and voice learn together. Now say this sentence with me. English feels easier when I slow down. Again, English feels easier when I slow down. Notice how slowing down gives space between words. Space improves rhythm. Another benefit of slow speak-along practice is sentence linking. Words connect smoothly instead of sounding separate. This linking makes your English sound more natural, even if your accent remains. Accent is not a problem. Flow matters more. You may notice that some sounds feel difficult at first. That is normal. Do not stop. Keep speaking. Your mouth learns through repetition, not correction. Correction belongs later. Speaking belongs now. Speak-along practice also helps with intonation. Intonation is how your voice rises and falls. When you copy calm, natural intonation repeatedly, your voice begins to mirror it automatically. Now say this sentence slowly with me. I can hear the rhythm of English. Again, I can hear the rhythm of English. Hearing and speaking together strengthens this skill. Another important change happens in your confidence with longer sentences. When you practice short sentences repeatedly, longer sentences stop feeling scary. Your mouth already knows how to move. Your breath already knows how to support speech. If you feel your pronunciation is unclear sometimes, do not judge it. Clarity improves over time. Judgment slows progress. Patience accelerates it. Speak-along practice also trains listening accuracy. When you listen carefully enough to repeat, your ear becomes sharper. This improves understanding naturally without extra effort. Now say this sentence with me. I am learning through listening and speaking. Again, I am learning through listening and speaking. Notice how repetition strengthens memory. Some days your pronunciation will feel better than others. That is normal. Learning is not linear. What matters is that each day adds a small layer of familiarity. As you continue this practice, you may start to notice that English words come out more smoothly in daily life. That is transfer. Transfer means practice is working. Before we finish this segment, say this final sentence with me. Speaking along helps my English flow. Again, speaking along helps my English flow. Let that sentence stay with you. In the next segment, we will focus on confidence and how speak-along practice reduces fear and hesitation when speaking English alone or with others. You will learn how calm repetition builds emotional strength. When you are ready, we will continue together. Up to now, you have been speaking along slowly, building rhythm, pronunciation, and natural flow. In this segment, we focus on something that quietly changes everything when it comes to speaking English: confidence. Not loud confidence, not perfect confidence, but calm confidence that stays with you even when you feel unsure. Most English learners think confidence comes after fluency. In reality, fluency comes after confidence. Speak along practice works because it builds confidence first in a safe and controlled way. When you speak along, you are not being judged. There is no response required. This removes performance pressure and allows your voice to emerge naturally. Fear often appears when we feel we might fail publicly. Speak along practice removes the public element while keeping the speaking element. This combination trains courage gently. Over time, your nervous system learns that speaking English does not equal danger. Now let's speak together again. Say this sentence slowly with me. I can speak English without fear. Say it again. I can speak English without fear. Even if fear is still there, saying this sentence trains your mind to move forward anyway. Hesitation is one of the biggest confidence killers. Many learners stop mid-sentence because they are afraid of choosing the wrong word. Speak along practice teaches you to continue instead of stopping. Continuation is confidence in action. When you hesitate while speaking along, do not stop the audio. Stay with it. Let your voice rejoin when it can. This trains recovery. Recovery is more important than speed or accuracy. Another important confidence shift happens with self-judgment. When you speak alone, repeatedly your voice becomes familiar. Familiar voices do not trigger fear. This is why speak-along practice reduces overthinking. Now say this sentence with me. I allow myself to speak imperfect English. Again, I allow myself to speak imperfect English. Imperfect speech is real speech. Speak-along practice also helps you get used to hearing your own voice. Many learners dislike their voice at first. That discomfort fades with repetition. What feels strange becomes normal. Normal feels safe. Confidence grows when the body feels safe. Slow speaking, calm breathing, and repetition create that safety. Once safety is present, learning accelerates. You may notice that after consistent speak-along practice, you start speaking more easily in small real-life moments. Short replies, simple comments, quiet participation. These moments matter. They reinforce confidence. It is important not to rush this process. Confidence grows quietly. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you may feel awkward. Practice anyway. Consistency builds emotional stability. Now say this sentence with me. I can stay calm when I speak English. Again, I can stay calm when I speak English. Calmness is the foundation of confidence. Speak-along practice also teaches patience. You learn that improvement does not require force, it requires presence. Presence keeps you grounded when fear appears. As confidence grows, fear loses its power. Fear may still appear, but it no longer controls your behavior. You continue speaking. That is confidence. Before we finish this segment, say this final sentence with me. Speaking slowly makes me confident. Again, speaking slowly makes me confident. In the next segment, we will focus on how speak-along practice helps you handle mistakes, pauses, and awkward moments without losing confidence. You will learn how to stay steady even when things do not go perfectly. When you are ready, we will continue together. In the previous segment, you learned how speak along practice builds calm confidence and reduces fear. Now, in this segment, we focus on something every English learner struggles with at some point: mistakes, pauses, and awkward moments. These moments do not disappear as your English improves. What changes is how you respond to them. Speak along practice trains that response gently and effectively. Most learners believe mistakes mean failure. That belief creates panic. Panic interrupts speech. Speak along practice replaces panic with familiarity. When you hear a sentence, begin speaking, hesitate, and then rejoin. You are training recovery. Recovery is the true skill of fluent speakers. Let's practice this mindset together. Say this sentence slowly with me. I can make mistakes and continue speaking. Say it again. I can make mistakes and continue speaking. Notice how calm that sentence feels when spoken slowly. Pauses are another place where learners often lose confidence. Silence feels uncomfortable. Many people rush to fill it even if they are not ready. Speak along practice teaches you that pauses are allowed. Pauses give your thoughts time to arrive. Fluent speakers use pauses intentionally. When you pause during speak along practice, do not stop the audio. Stay present. Let the next sentence guide you back in. This teaches your nervous system that silence is not danger. Silence is part of speech. Awkward moments often appear when you lose your place or forget a word. Instead of restarting completely, speak along practice trains you to continue from where you can. This builds flexibility. Flexibility is confidence under pressure. Now say this sentence with me. I stay calm when English feels awkward. Again, I stay calm when English feels awkward. Calmness keeps your voice steady. Another important lesson here is self-compassion. When you speak along and something feels wrong, treat yourself kindly. Harsh self-talk increases tension. Tension blocks speech. Kindness keeps the pathway open. Speak along practice also reduces the habit of apologizing. Many learners apologize for their English unnecessarily. When you practice speaking without interruption, you learn to continue without apology. Continuing is more powerful than explaining. You may notice that after consistent practice, mistakes feel smaller. They no longer stop you emotionally. This is because your brain has learned that mistakes do not end the conversation. They are just moments inside it. Let's say another sentence together. I do not stop when my English is imperfect. Again, I do not stop when my English is imperfect. This sentence trains persistence. Over time, this calm response transfers into real conversations. When you hesitate, you pause instead of panicking. When you miss a word, you paraphrase instead of freezing. These are advanced speaking skills built quietly. Speak along practice also teaches patience with progress. You stop expecting instant improvement. You focus on steady participation. Steady participation leads to lasting fluency. Some days, awkwardness will appear more strongly. Those days are not setbacks, they are training days. Practicing when things feel uncomfortable builds emotional strength. Before we finish this segment, say this final sentence with me. I continue speaking even when it feels difficult. Again. I continue speaking even when it feels difficult. Difficulty does not stop progress. Avoidance does. In the next segment, we will focus on how speak along practice prepares you for real conversations with other people and helps you speak more naturally in daily life. When you are ready, we will continue together. Up to now, speak along practice has been helping you build calmness, confidence, and recovery while speaking English. In this segment, we focus on how this practice begins to change the way you speak in real life, not just during practice. This is the moment when many learners notice that English starts to feel more available instead of distant. Real conversations feel difficult not because English is hard, but because they are unpredictable. You don't know what the other person will say. You don't know when your turn will come. Speak along practice prepares you for this uncertainty by training your mind to stay engaged instead of freezing. When you speak along regularly, your brain gets used to producing English sounds without waiting for permission. This reduces the delay between thought and speech. That delay is what causes panic in real conversations. As the delay shortens, speaking feels more natural. Another important change is readiness. When you practice speaking every day, even for a few minutes, your mind expects to speak. That expectation creates mental warm-up. So when someone speaks to you in English, your system is already active. You're not starting from zero. Speak along practice also improves how you listen in real conversations. Because you have practiced listening with the intention to speak, your attention becomes sharper. Better listening reduces pressure. When you understand more, you feel less rushed to respond. Now say this sentence slowly with me. I am ready to speak when English appears. Say it again. I am ready to speak when English appears. This sentence reinforces readiness. Another powerful effect of speak-along practice is comfort with turn-taking. In real conversations, you must listen, wait, and then speak. Speak along trains this rhythm naturally. You listen, you join, you pause, you continue. This rhythm transfers directly into conversations. You may notice that you begin to speak more spontaneously. Short comments, simple reactions, natural responses. These moments may feel small, but they are signs of real progress. Fluency grows through participation, not perfection. Speak along practice also reduces fear of interruption. Because you practice continuing calmly, interruptions feel less destabilizing. You pause, listen, and rejoin. This flexibility is a strong conversational skill. Another important shift happens emotionally. English starts to feel less personal. Mistakes no longer feel like judgments about you, they feel like part of communication. This emotional distance allows you to stay engaged longer. Now say this sentence with me. I stay present during English conversations. Again, I stay present during English conversations. Presence keeps fear from taking over. It is important to remember that speak along practice does not make conversations perfect. It makes them manageable. Some conversations will still feel easy. Others will feel challenging. What changes is your ability to stay instead of retreating. As you continue, you may notice that people respond more positively to you. Calm speakers feel trustworthy. Slow, clear speech feels confident. You do not need to speak fast to be respected. Speak along practice also helps in professional situations. Meetings, interviews, presentations, and phone calls all require calm speech under mild pressure. This practice builds that skill gently. If you ever feel nervous before a real conversation, do a short speak along warm up. 1 or 2 sentences out loud is enough to activate your voice and calm your mind. Before we finish this segment, say this final sentence with me. Practicing daily helps me speak naturally in real life. Again, practicing daily helps me speak naturally in real life. Let that sentence settle in. In the final segment, we will bring everything together and focus on how to keep this speak along habit simple, sustainable, and effective long term so your English continues to improve naturally. When you're ready, we will move into the final part together. You have now reached the final segment of this Speak Along series, and this is the moment to understand what you have truly been training. You are not just repeating sentences, you are teaching your mind and body how to work together calmly. That coordination is the foundation of real English fluency. At the beginning, speaking out loud may have felt uncomfortable. Your voice may have sounded unfamiliar. Your mouth may have felt slow. But by speaking along consistently, you showed your nervous system that using English is safe. Safety is what allows language to grow naturally. The most important change that happens through speak along practice is this. English stops living only in your head and starts living in your voice. When English lives in your voice, hesitation decreases. Confidence becomes quieter but stronger. Speaking feels possible instead of stressful. You may notice now that you recover faster when something feels difficult. You pause without panic. You continue without apology. These are not small changes. These are signs of real progress. Speak along practice works because it removes judgment. There is no audience to impress, no mistakes to explain, just participation. Participation builds skill faster than perfection ever could. Another important realization is that fluency is not about sounding like someone else. It is about sounding like yourself without fear. Your accent, your pace, and your rhythm are part of your identity. Speak along practice helps you accept that identity instead of fighting it. As you move forward, remember that you do not need long sessions. A few minutes of speaking out loud every day is enough to keep your voice active. Consistency keeps pathways open. When pathways stay open, speaking stays available. Some days you will feel strong, other days you may feel tired or distracted. Practice anyway. Those ordinary days are what build lasting ability. Progress happens quietly, not dramatically. If one day you miss your practice, do not turn it into self-criticism. Resume the next day. Language growth is not fragile. It responds to return, not punishment. Right now, say this sentence slowly, out loud if you can. I am becoming more comfortable speaking English. Say it again. Let the words feel natural. Comfort is fluency beginning. You can use speak along practice anytime you feel nervous. Before a conversation, before a meeting, before a phone call. One or two sentences are enough to activate calm speech. This series ends here, but your practice continues. English is no longer something you wait to feel ready for. It is something you gently step into. Speak slowly, stay present, continue speaking. That is how real fluency grows.